Ahoy, mateys. It's story time. I almost feel like Johnny Mullet. Remember when he used to do those? I wonder if he still does. Have to go check him out. I can hear Holly belching. It's not even Saturday night. It's Sunday night, January 29th, 2023. I just checked my watch hours. I've gained 5 in 24 hours. I'd say it was pretty good for me. Oh, Michelle wanted to be in on this tonight, by the way. She does love these stories. Oh, gosh, I have so many of them. Well, here's another one. It has a moral. We'll get to that. This is a long time ago. Much research has been done in finding out what happened to these missionaries. Just exactly what happened to them. And then there was research done on the natives of that area, and there was a lot of research done on the birds. I think there may have been some other altercations concerning the birds. So, here we go. Years ago, down the Amazon jungles along the Amazon River, a group of missionaries had heard of a native tribe that had not been introduced to Christianity. And so they made it their mission to correct that situation. They came down the Amazon River in their boat, and they found the place where they had heard the natives were nearby in their village. And they were prepared, and they prayed, and they got out of their canoe. Well, I think it was a little bit larger. Let's just say it was a large canoe. Now, they were making their way through the jungle, and they came upon a clearing, and they thought, wow, we must be getting close. This looks like perhaps agricultural area for the natives. They could smell something, and it wasn't very pleasant. And they were making their way along and kind of holding their noses and waving, and all of a sudden a big cloud of birds came swooping down, and, well, the birds defecated everywhere, and the 3 missionaries were just completely covered in this bird doo-doo. And they just couldn't. Oh my God. They ran back to the Amazon River, and they dove in, and they were commenced to scrubbing themselves, when suddenly out of the jungle came a tribe of natives, the very ones that the missionaries had been hoping to meet. Well, they met them all right. Oh, let's just say they met the natives' spears right there in the middle of the river. The natives killed the missionaries. Well, it took many years as to find out why the natives killed these missionaries, because other tribes around this particular tribe of native Amazonian jungle peoples said they never had seen that tribe be so warlike against anyone. These other tribes, we've met missionaries, we get along, everybody's cool. And so the investigators, they dug a little bit deeper and saying, well, why would these natives kill the missionaries? What was what was the reason the missionaries were in the river? And then one old native said, oh, I may know. And more investigations and research was put into this. Another RIP project. No, not rest in peace. Research in progress. This old native chief, he said, that tribe over there, they worship a bird. He says the birds are only native to that area, and I'm glad that those birds are only over there because they are not so nice. And the researcher said to the native chief, what do you mean by not so nice? And the chief said, let's sit down and I will tell you. These birds that other native tribe worships, very, very sacred to that native tribe. These birds love, they just absolutely love to eat. They spend half their time eating. He says they love to eat. They don't sing. They don't really do much else but eat at least half the time. And the researcher said, well, what do they do the other half of the time? And the native said, they poop. They love to poop. That's their favorite thing. In fact, I believe the only reason they love to eat is because they really, really love to poop. And the researcher says, that's interesting. And the chief of the neighboring tribe of the natives who had speared the missionaries to death said, yeah, he says, those natives believe that the poop is sacred, very sacred. And the researcher said, I heard somebody else say that the poop really, really smells bad. And the chief said, oh yeah, very, very bad. That's why I'm glad they stay over there. It's nasty. You think pig nasty? No, this is 100 times worse. And the researcher said, well, I wonder, the missionaries were in the river when they were killed by the natives who worship the bird. Do we know the name of the bird? And the chief said, they call it the flu bird. And the researcher said, well, okay, a flu bird. It's an interesting name. Is it possible that the missionaries perhaps were pooped on? The chief said, oh yes, very possible. That has happened to some of my tribe who have gone too close to that other tribe. And the researcher said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, if you are pooped on by the flu bird, you are like a god. You are blessed. So the researcher said, well, why would the natives kill the missionaries if they got pooped on? And she said, why were they in the river washing it off? That would be blasphemy. And the researcher said, I believe you're right. The flu bird, who loves to eat, but who likes to poop more, but if you wash the poop off, you have turned your back on God, so to speak. And she says, yes, you do that, you must be killed. Well, the researcher said, well, that answers it. If the flu bird shits, in fact, if the flu shits, you better wear it. Good night, mateys. Fair winds and smiles. And may God bless.